Okay. Um, I don't even know how to start this, but I know I'm gonna just talk. Um, I feel like the year 2025 was a very hard change for me, specifically in my life, because 2024, I lived half of it with my parents still because I was not yet married, I was engaged. And then June of 2024 and forward was my first 6 months of being married. I feel like 2025 was really technically for me the first full year of marriage, and so much happened in just a year and 6 months. Um, for those that do not know, I am 25. I got married when I was 24. I've lived before then in Texas all my life, and I married a person that has lived in California all his life. And so now, looking back at that year, it's crazy to me how much has changed. I think it's really hard to look back at every moment of every day that last year provided um me with. And I've been working since I've been out of high school, and I've been working in part-time jobs. Maybe sometimes I would have two jobs at one time, so it would be technically full-time. I've always tried to go back to school, but for some reason I just can't stay consistent. That is something very sensitive that I've never really talked about or shared about, how seeing everybody get out of school in high school, if they didn't know what they were doing, they would still attend school, or if they knew what they were doing, they would go to school and they would go to really good colleges, or they just really invested their last high school years into knowing what they were going to university attend to or apply for or whatnot. I feel like I just never really found what I really wanted, or not what I wanted, but what I need in my life, what I know I can give for others and be at service to, not just physically, but spiritually. And last year was the first year where in my career, I felt a very different change than all my other years, because I was in so much stress and chaos, but it wasn't bad stress or chaos. It was good stress and chaos. And at the same time, it was my first year of marriage. So it was a lot to just intake by yourself and to be responsible with bills like monthly payments and an apartment and a car and all these different things. And on top of it, learning how to be at service for your partner and jumping into the unknown, because I literally didn't know how to be a wife. And I still don't. I mean, we know we know the universal, term for it, but to be it, right? It's just different, and especially when two people come from two different places. But obviously I have ADHD because I go all over the place, but that's just the point, that I'm just here to talk. Um and I felt like for once in my career I knew where I was at, which was my floral department from a company called HEB in Texas, and I found myself once. And I don't mean just like I want to learn about it, but I want to do it. Like, I feel even on the days where I'm unmotivated, I still can wake up and do it, because that's been a struggle of mine for so many years. I'm really bad at consistency, and I'm really good at motivation. But motivation, it just comes and goes, right? And some days you just feel so much more motivated than another. And in those other days, you just hit a very, very low. And for the first time in my life, I felt this consistency in something that I actually enjoyed. Um, so yeah, I feel like I found myself there. But going back to my marriage, it was like they say the first year is one of the hardest. And I think it was really hard on us. Looking back now, we went through a lot, and it's just sorry, it's just so hard to look back at. But I think that's something I'm so grateful for, our sermon when we got married at the church, that the pastor ended our sermon right before my husband and I walk off the altar, and we hold hands, right, and walk down the aisle again, but now as married. I love how he ended it. He said, "And for what God has brought together, let no man separate." And by man, it's not necessarily by like a human, I mean, a human male, right? I truly believe it's by like what humans are, which is emotional beings, um, who love, who care, who separate, who cry, who yearn, who, are sad, get angry, emotional beings, right? Through our actions, what we show, what we think, what we feel. I don't even know if I'm making sense, but I guess the ones that will understand me will. Um, and I feel like that held me in my marriage. Those words. Because I truly do believe that whatever God has brought together, no one can separate that. No matter how low one can go. I truly do believe that God surpasses all, and He's the truest form of love. Um, and it was a hard year, man. It was a hard year. I wasn't just going I wasn't just going through things in my marriage. I was also going through things with my family, and the detachment is so real after after getting married. Learning how to process that was really hard. We had 3 deaths last year, 2025, obviously. Um, that was that hit us really hard. At least specifically me, but I know us, I mean some family members too. And honestly, it just really made my head to start thinking. I mean, it just made me start thinking, sorry, and really appreciating life for what it is, and to really be present. And I feel like growing up, I wasn't really present. I was always looking in the past, you know, every time I would bump into someone, either I don't know you, so I don't know what the future holds between this connection, or I have bumped into a person that I have so much past with, but never just to sit still and e- enjoy a moment. And I don't know if that's trauma, I don't know what it is, but I feel like those deaths really impacted me this year. And it's crazy how it went one by one, two of which I was present for. I mean, three. I was present for all three, but two of which I was physically there to be either there for someone or, you know, and I just felt like 2025 was a really eye-opening year for me. I I had never experienced independency, loss, growth very, very um strongly. Like, you would think, oh yeah, this year I only felt loss, so I grieved, right? And I hope next year I'm able to heal, or as the years go by. But you would never think you experience them all so very passionately in one year. And for for that, I keep going back and forth, and I'm sorry, but I think you'll the ones that will hear me will understand. But you can clearly tell I'm all over the place. I also experienced full on transparency and honesty and growth, also setbacks, loss. I moved away from home. And what I mean home is like the state that you live in, right? Or the area that you live in. For most of us, we grow up somewhere and we stay there and we never move away, but that was not the case for me. I never would have thought before meeting my husband that I would have ever left the valley, which is Texas for me. As in, sorry. Yeah, that I would have never left the valley. And now I'm in the state of California. Like, how cool. How cool to be able to say that I am now living in a whole different state. And I don't mean to make it my personality, because I feel like I have in my mm, TikTok or like social media platforms or whatnot, but I would have never thought I would have left my home state, And I feel like God places you where you need to be in life, not where you want to be. And looking back at every single experience that I've had, I feel like that's the message of it all. Sometimes we're like, no, no, like that's not where I'm going. That's not where I want to be. No, I don't want to experience this. No, I can't see myself without this or that or a person, or like, no, this is not what I want. I want this. And God puts you where you don't want to be, but where you need to be for you to grow, for you to build your character, for you to go through things that will only make you stronger in Him, to trust in Him. And it hurts. It hurts to detach yourself from people that you grew up with, that you experienced so many things of your life with. But at the same time, God needs you to be in this state so that you can only rely on Him, you know, and no one else. And I feel like this is what that message was for me moving here to California. I'm not saying I've been perfect, the perfect Christian, the perfect Jesus follower, whatever you want to categorize me in. I, I have not. But I feel like 2026 is going to be a challenging good year where I'm really going to put myself to be the version that I've never been able to be. Realistically though, I'm not going to pretend to do something that you know, I'm not going to pretend. Like I'm going to stop pretending, which is what I feel like I've done all my life, is pretending to do something or pretending to feel like I'm happy when I'm not, or pretend that I'm sad when I'm happy, or pretend for others to do something just because that other person likes it. I'm not saying I've always been that way, but I feel like being here in the state of California, I know for a lot of people are like, girl, you need to get that out of your head. Like, it's easier said than done. And especially when you didn't move to California wanting to, like, intentionally wanting to move. You moved for the sake of the love and sacrifice that you have for another person. That's a very different kind of move. And I feel like that's the part that a lot of people can confuse it by. Of course, California is so beautiful. I love nature. I love going on camps. I love to go on hikes. I love all those things. But that doesn't mean that I was ready to leave or move, right? But it doesn't matter because God knows when it's the best time for you to move. Although you feel like you're not ready, although you feel like you're not qualified for, and He will put you to work. Like, whether it be you by yourself or for others, you know, or both. Um, I have a really good feeling, and it's not a feeling. It's like a gut feeling. I have a really good gut feeling that that good things are going to happen. I'm going to say my New Year's resolutions. I kind of want to journal a lot this year, like video wise. I love journaling. I love journaling like little bits and pieces of memories of my life. I fear that one day when I have either, dementia, or I forget things, okay? That's what I want to say. I want to be able to look back and be like, I recorded so many memories. Like, I remember that. Or just see myself, like, or my children see their father and their mother, you know? I made the New Year's resolution, and I'm going to read them off to you because a friend of mine actually asked me And I honestly didn't have any written, but I knew I had some, and I just didn't know what it was. I'm not going to be perfect, so I know I'm not going to get them all done, but I want to realistically have it here. So, my very first one is, how can I spiritually be connected with God? Something I lack of is memory. And I know I need to start eating specifically like vitamins or whatnot, like to help my memory and just eating healthier overall. But one of the things that I want to really do, which is something I saw someone do on TikTok this one random day, and I just don't remember their name or who it was. I think it was like a random person. I don't even know if they had a lot of followers, but it doesn't matter because I came across their video and they were writing the Bible word by word. And when I saw that, I was like, no way. Like, that's so cool. I want to do that too, because writing has always been something so special to me for some reason. As a little girl, I would always buy the cutest little notebooks or diary form of books, and I would write special things about my life. I have so many diaries. I would start them, but I wouldn't finish them. I would finish them like halfway through the journal, and I just really want to do that. I want to help my memory by writing it down, and also by just like, I don't know, just doing it myself. So I told them, I was like, I want to write word by word the Bible. And it would be a fun way to like really thoroughly comprehend, but yet also memorize, maybe. I don't know. Number two is eat healthier and feel more confident in the kitchen. I feel like growing up, I had very overprotecting parents, which is, I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm saying everyone knows their child best, so they know what they do. All I'm saying is that when I would cook, it would be really hard for me to cook in front of them because they wanted to perfection. And I understand my parents, they just want everything to be the best for me. But it also takes effect as in like how maybe the way they explained it at that time wasn't the best form, but it's okay. I forgive them. But I want to eat healthier. I want to really invest in myself. And when I say me, I'm now one with my partner. So it's not just me. I mean, like my husband and I, but specifically talking me, right? Like there's certain things that he likes, there's certain things I like. So obviously, we still have individuality, but we're together, right? We are one. So there's only one of us. I don't know if that makes sense. Anyways, oh, this is my pet Snoopy. He's right here. He is the cutest little bubby in the whole world. Bubby, you want to come here? Snoopy. I feel so bad because he likes to play with this little dude my mother-in-law gifted him. He already broke off one little thing, but it doesn't matter. Well, that's my little son. I love him with all my heart, and I will get back to him. So, yeah, that's my number 2 resolution. Number 3 is one that I'm literally doing as we speak. Wear no makeup. So, I need to be realistic. There's going to be events this year that I obviously will dress for it. But I think on my day-to-day, I genuinely want to feel beautiful for who I am, which is how God created me to be. But I do know our bodies are the temple of him. So that's what I mean. Like, I don't want to just look the part. I want to internalize it and I want to feel good about it. So I really want to try on my day to day not to wear a single drop of makeup, even on church days, I genuinely want to look my best and 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 just be me, and focus on more internal things than external. Number 4 is for me to be more active in my daily routine because, like I said, I went from a very different life in Texas, which was working nonstop, and now I am still. Like, I'm in a season of stillness. I We only have one car, and that car my husband uses every day to go to work. I'm at home with our doggy. We don't have kids. We only have a dog. So I'm only responsible for X, Y, and Z when he's responsible for like the whole other part of the alphabet. So it's a moment of stillness. And in that stillness, I still want to be active. I still want to stretch, do things, move around. Um, and so that's why I made it as my resolution. Number 5 is one that I had brought up like previously, what we were talking about in my career. I already started my floral business, social media platforms, and I now want to be consistent with it. I know I don't have clientele, but I know one day I will. And so I want to stay consistent with that. I have a lot of ideas. I don't want this to be like the platform where I talk about all those ideas, but I know this year has so much for that. And I really want to be consistent in that, not motivated, but consistent. Um, number 6 is to go to a lot more parks. I am blessed with at the moment with so much nature around me. It's insane. I've never been able to enjoy the the weather and the nature, the parks, the way I have been able to here. All my life growing up in Texas, we live in a very hot area and it's usually hot all around. So to be able to experience beautiful weather and views, man, the mountains, the trees, the big trees. I'm not saying Texas is a bad place. No, no, no. I'm just saying, like, for a person who has always loved to be surrounded by nature, not that I'm a tree hugger, but that I've always just genuinely loved God's creation. And now to be able to experience it, there's no excuse for me to not at least have that in my day to day routine. And I really want to do that. I really want to go to more parks. And my number 7 is what I'm doing right now, which is record memorable moments. I feel like I've always been a person that talks a lot. And as I was talking with my friend, he was like, "Why don't you make videos again? Why don't you do this? Why don't you do that?" And I was like, I can't actually answer you that. Like, there's just no excuse for me not to do it. So let me do it. And I asked my husband last night if he can activate my earphones, my microphone, and my little stereo. I think that's what it's called. I keep forgetting. If he can put it for me so that I can start it. And he did. I love you. Um, I love you, Juan. And he did. So now I'm here. Um, but I don't know how I'd like to end the video for last year, but I'm glad it is the new year. I'm glad that even through all of the trials and tribulations that I went through, I overcame them. And by I mean we, my husband and I. And I'm here to tell you that you can too. There's there's nothing in this world that can be so hard that you are not stronger than to overcome it. I I believe that every person is strong in their way that they can be, and that whatever you go through, you will always be stronger than that. And everybody's version of strong is very different, and that's okay. And I'm here to tell you that not everyone's going to be on the same page in different things, but know that know that you can push through. And if maybe this is the video that you just came across for some reason and you stayed by until the very end, I just really want to leave you with that 2025 was a really hard year on me. I can't speak for my husband, but I know it was a really hard year on him too. And I know there's going to be more hard years, but you are stronger. And in the moment, you might feel the weakest, but that's where you're building the most strength when you're at your lowest. So I hope I continue to do these little talks. Hopefully, I'm interesting to some. I know I'm all over the place and I'm very sorry for that, but at the same time, I'm not. I want to stop saying sorry for who I am, unless it is something that I should be sorry about. um, but I'm not sorry. I am who I am for a reason, and I want to be okay with myself. I want to feel confident. I want to be the best version that I can for my husband, for myself, for my pet doggy who was in the back, the sweetest little boy. By the way, I haven't talked about him, but he was the biggest blessing that came out of 2024. He was born on February the 10th, 2024. And yeah, he's been our little emotional support animal ever since. I mean, he's not technically an emotional support animal. I should make him one because I know he needs me and I need him. But that is literally my son, and I love him with all my heart. And those that know me know him. Those that know my husband know him. It's so crazy how people really do intake their version of themselves in dog form. Look at him, he's just a little fur ball. Anyways, um, thank you for staying all the way to the end. I don't know where you are, but or who you are, but know you have a friend in me, and know you can talk to me here on this page. Um, I can't wait for us to talk more. As in talk, like maybe you listen to me right now, but afterwards in the comments you'll be able to talk to me. I just would like to pray for you if you allow me to. Let's bow our heads before we pray and end the video. Dear God, thank you so much for today. It is currently January the 2nd. I don't know the time, but you do. Thank you for this person that's listening to me. I have no idea why they came across my video at the time that they did, whether it be the day of or 20 plus years later, Lord. But they did. And I know now that it was through you. Please help them be okay in whatever stage of their life they are in for this new year, 2026, and whatever year that they're in as they're watching this video and hearing me, for them to be always protected by you, Lord, and to be guided by you. Please help them get out of whatever situation that they are in. Help their hearts, help their renewal of their life. Help them be good, Lord, whether they believe in you or not. Just help them be okay. We praise you for the little details, for our eyesight, for our hearing, for our nose, our mouth, our hands, our feet, our legs, our body as a whole, that we're able to function normally, Lord. And sometimes we take those small blessings for granted. The fact that we have a place to sleep, a place to eat, that we have friends, that we have family. And if we don't have any of those things, that we always do have something good, Lord. And we praise you for that. Help them understand that, and help us understand, actually, that no matter how hard it gets, how low we are, we will always be able to overcome it, Lord. And I think that's my message of last year of 2025, that in the hardest of days, we will always overcome it, no matter what. And I hope that they can take that message at least today. But thank you for being here with us. Thank you for talking with us, protecting us, for giving us another day, another year. Please let it be that way. And if for some reason we experience loss, Lord, in whatever category of our life, please help us heal from that, seal up those wounds, and help us move forward, Lord. Thank you for today, and we pray all of this in your name. Amen. Thank you for listening, guys. I am so excited to continue this journey. I know, again, I was all over the place, but I feel like the more and more that I do this, the more it's going to go back to normal or back to making sense. Making sense 2026. I'm just kidding. But I hope you have a good day, and I hope you can tune in on the next one. Have a good one, friends. Bye.